Hello, everyone, and welcome back to EasyTalk English. Today, we're talking about two very common English expressions that often confuse learners, I think and I feel. At first glance, they seem very similar because both can sometimes be translated as tôi nghĩ in Vietnamese, but native speakers use them in very different situations.
I remember being confused by this myself. When I first started speaking English, I used I feel and I think almost interchangeably. Sometimes people understood me, but other times my sentence sounded strange or didn't express exactly what I wanted to say.
And that's completely normal. The confusion happens because both expressions introduce personal information. You're sharing something from your own perspective. However, one is connected to your thoughts and ideas, while the other is connected to your emotions and physical sensations.
I think many learners focus on translating individual words instead of understanding how native speakers actually use them. As a result, they might say something like, I feel the meeting will be difficult, when they really mean they're making a prediction rather than describing a feeling.
Exactly. The good news is that the difference is actually quite simple once you understand the basic idea. In today's episode, we'll look at when to use I think, when to use I feel, and how a third expression, I feel like, can help you sound more natural and diplomatic.
I especially like the phrase I feel like because native speakers use it all the time. It can make your English sound softer, friendlier, and less direct, which is very useful in both social and workplace conversations.
By the end of this episode, you'll have a simple rule that can help you choose the correct expression almost every time, and you'll probably start noticing these phrases everywhere, in movies, podcasts, and everyday conversations.
So if you've ever wondered whether to say I think, I feel, or I feel like, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Let's start with the most important idea of today's episode. The difference between I think and I feel is actually very simple. I think is connected to your mind, while I feel is connected to your emotions or your body. If you remember that distinction, you'll avoid many common mistakes.
I like to think of it this way. I think comes from the brain, and I feel comes from the heart or the body. It's not a perfect rule for every situation, but it's a great starting point. Whenever I'm unsure, I ask myself whether I'm expressing an idea or a feeling.
Exactly. For example, if you say, I think this restaurant is good, you're sharing an opinion. You're making a judgment based on your experience. But if you say, I feel happy, you're describing an emotion rather than an idea.
Here's another example. If I say, I think it's going to rain, I'm making a prediction. Maybe I see dark clouds in the sky. But if I say, I feel cold, I'm describing a physical sensation that my body is experiencing right now.
That's a great comparison. Notice that I think is often followed by a complete idea or belief. You're expressing an opinion, assumption, or prediction. Meanwhile, I feel is usually followed by an emotion or physical condition, such as happy, nervous, tired, excited, or sick.
And once you start paying attention, you'll notice this pattern everywhere. People say things like, I think we should leave early, or I think she's right. But when they're talking about emotions, they say, I feel nervous, or I feel stressed.
So here's the simple memory trick. Think equals brain. Feel equals heart or body. When you ask yourself where the information is coming from, the correct choice often becomes obvious.
I love that rule because it's easy to remember. It won't solve every situation, but it'll help you make the right choice most of the time.
Now let's focus specifically on I think. This expression is one of the most common phrases in English because people are constantly sharing opinions, ideas, assumptions, and predictions. Whenever you're talking about something happening in your mind rather than your emotions, I think is often the right choice.
That's why I use it so often at work. During meetings, people regularly ask for opinions and suggestions. Instead of saying, this is the best solution, I might say, I think this is the best solution. It sounds more natural and leaves room for discussion.
Exactly. Let's look at a few examples. You can say, I think this project will succeed because you're making a prediction. You can say, I think he's right, because you're expressing an opinion. And you can say, I think we should leave early, because you're suggesting an action.
Here's another example I use frequently. I think it's going to rain. I'm not describing a feeling. I'm looking at the weather and making an assumption about what might happen next.
That's a great example. Let's learn a few useful vocabulary words that often connect with I think. An opinion is your personal view about something. An assumption is something you believe without having complete information. A prediction is your expectation about the future, and a belief is something you think is true.
Once I understood those categories, using I think became much easier. Whenever I'm giving an opinion, making a prediction, or sharing a belief, I think usually feels like the natural choice.
And remember, I think can also make statements sound less aggressive. Compare you're wrong with I think you're mistaken. The second version sounds much more polite and conversational.
That's a really useful tip, especially in workplace communication. Native speakers often use I think not only to express ideas, but also to make conversations feel more respectful and collaborative.
Exactly. I think is one of the most powerful and flexible phrases in English because it helps you share your thoughts clearly while still sounding polite. Now let's switch to I feel. Unlike I think, which comes from your thoughts and opinions, I feel is usually used to describe emotions, moods, or physical sensations. In other words, it's about what you're experiencing emotionally or physically rather than what you're thinking.
That's where the brain versus body rule becomes really helpful. If I'm talking about an emotion, I naturally use I feel. For example, I might say, I feel happy, I feel nervous, or I feel excited. Those aren't opinions, they're emotional experiences.
Exactly. And the same applies to physical sensations. If you're tired after a long day, you can say, I feel tired. If you're not feeling well, you can say, I feel sick. You're describing the condition of your body rather than sharing an idea or belief.
I think many learners understand emotional examples more easily than physical ones, but both follow the same pattern. Whether it's happiness, stress, hunger, or fatigue, you're describing something you personally experience.
Let's look at a few useful vocabulary words. An emotion is a feeling such as happiness, sadness, anger, or excitement. A feeling is your emotional state. A mood is a general emotional condition that may last for a longer period. And a sensation is a physical experience like pain, warmth, or tiredness.
Those categories make a lot of sense. If someone asks how I'm doing and I say, I feel stressed today, I'm describing my emotional state. If I say, I feel cold, I'm describing a physical sensation. In both cases, the information comes from my personal experience.
Exactly. Notice that we don't usually use I think with emotions. Saying, I think sad today sounds incorrect because sadness is a feeling, not an opinion. That's why native speakers naturally say, I feel sad today.
And once you start connecting I feel with emotions and physical sensations, the choice becomes much easier. You're simply describing what's happening inside you rather than what's happening in your mind.
That's the key idea. When the information comes from your heart or your body, I feel is usually the right choice. Now that we understand the basic difference between I think and I feel, let's look at some common mistakes English learners make. These errors are very understandable because in many languages, thoughts and feelings are expressed differently, but once you recognize the pattern, they're easy to fix.
I definitely made these mistakes when I was learning English. One sentence I used to say was, I feel the meeting will be difficult. It sounded natural to me at the time, but native speakers would usually choose a different expression.
Exactly. In that example, you're not describing an emotion, you're making a prediction about the future. That's why I think the meeting will be difficult is the better choice. The information is coming from your judgment or opinion, not from a feeling.
Here's another common mistake. I think sad today. Learners sometimes use I think because they're trying to express something personal, but sadness is an emotion, so the correct sentence is I feel sad today.
That's right. A simple question can help you choose correctly. Ask yourself, am I describing an idea or an emotion? If it's an idea, prediction, assumption, or opinion, use I think. If it's an emotion or physical sensation, use I feel.
Let's compare a few examples. I think this movie will be popular is correct because it's a prediction. I feel excited about this movie is also correct because excitement is an emotion. The first sentence comes from the mind, and the second comes from the heart.
That's a great comparison. Another helpful tip is to look at the words that follow the phrase. If you see words like happy, nervous, tired, stressed, or sick, you'll usually need I feel. If you're introducing a complete opinion or idea, I think is often the better choice.
And don't worry if you make mistakes. Even advanced learners make these expressions up sometimes. The important thing is understanding the difference and practicing it in real conversations.
Exactly. The more you notice these patterns, the more natural they'll become. Soon you'll be choosing between I think and I feel without even stopping to think about it. Now let's talk about one of the most useful and natural expressions in English, I feel like. This phrase is extremely common in everyday conversations, and native speakers use it in several different ways. In fact, understanding I feel like can instantly make your English sound more natural and conversational.
I've noticed that too. When I first learned English, I mostly used I think and I feel, but once I started paying attention to movies, podcasts, and native speakers, I realized that I feel like appeared everywhere.
One common use of I feel like is to talk about what you want to do. For example, you can say, I feel like going home, or I feel like eating pizza. In these examples, you're expressing a desire or a preference in a relaxed and natural way.
I use that structure all the time. Instead of saying, I want pizza, I might say, I feel like eating pizza. It sounds softer and more conversational, especially when talking with friends or coworkers.
Exactly. Another use is to describe a personal impression or experience. For example, someone might say, I feel like nobody listens to me, or I feel like we're making good progress. These statements aren't necessarily facts, they're personal perceptions about a situation.
That's an important distinction. When I say, I feel like nobody listens to me, I'm not claiming it's objectively true. I'm simply describing how the situation seems from my perspective.
Exactly, and that's one reason native speakers love this phrase. It creates some distance between the speaker and the statement. Instead of presenting something as a fact, you're presenting it as a personal experience or impression.
I think that's why I feel like often sounds friendlier than a direct statement. It gives other people room to respond without feeling attacked or corrected.
That's a great observation. Whether you're talking about a desire, an impression, or a personal observation, I feel like helps your English sound more natural, flexible, and conversational.
And as we'll see next, it's also one of the best tools for making difficult conversations sound more diplomatic and less judgmental.
One of the most powerful uses of I feel like is that it can make your communication sound less judgmental. Instead of presenting something as an absolute fact, you're presenting it as your personal perception. This small change can make conversations feel much more respectful and collaborative.
I think that's especially useful in the workplace. Sometimes we need to discuss problems or give feedback, but we don't want to sound accusatory. A direct statement can make people defensive, even if that wasn't our intention.
Exactly. Let's look at an example. Imagine saying, "You're not listening." That's a very direct statement, and the other person may immediately disagree or become defensive. But if you say, "I feel like you're not listening," the focus shifts to your experience rather than accusing the other person.
That's a huge difference. The second version sounds much softer because you're describing how the situation feels to you. You're inviting a conversation instead of starting an argument.
Here's another example. Imagine saying, "This project is failing." That's a strong statement that may sound negative or dramatic. A softer version might be, "I feel like this project is facing some challenges." The message is similar, but the tone is much more professional.
I can see why managers and team leaders often use language like that. The goal isn't to hide the problem, it's to discuss the problem in a way that encourages people to work together on the solution.
Exactly. This is one reason I feel like is so valuable in feedback conversations. It helps you express concerns without sounding overly critical. People are often more willing to listen when they don't feel personally attacked.
I've started using this approach in difficult conversations, and it really helps. Instead of saying, "You never respond on time," I might say, "I feel like communication has been slower recently." The discussion immediately feels less confrontational.
That's a great example. Language doesn't just communicate information, it also influences how people feel. Small changes in wording can have a big impact on the quality of a conversation.
And that's why "I feel like" is such a useful phrase. It allows you to be honest while still sounding respectful, professional, and open-minded.
Now let's see how I think, I feel, and I feel like appear in real workplace conversations. Understanding the grammar is helpful, but hearing these expressions in realistic situations makes them much easier to remember and use.
I agree. Sometimes learners understand the rules perfectly, but when they're in a meeting or speaking with a colleague, they're not sure which phrase sounds most natural in the moment.
Let's imagine a team meeting. A manager asks for opinions about a new marketing strategy. One employee might say, "I think this campaign will attract younger customers." That works because they're sharing an opinion and making a prediction.
Exactly. Now imagine the same employee says, "I feel excited about this campaign." That's different because they're talking about their emotional reaction rather than their professional opinion.
Great distinction. Now let's look at I feel like. Suppose a team member says, "I feel like we're spending too much time on small details." They're not claiming it's an absolute fact. They're sharing a personal observation in a softer way.
And that often sounds better than saying we're wasting time. The second statement can sound harsh, while "I feel like" makes the comment easier for others to accept and discuss.
Here's another example from a feedback conversation. A manager might say, "I think your presentation was well organized." That's an opinion. Then they might add, "I feel like some of the slides contain too much information." That's a softer way to offer constructive feedback.
I love that example because all three expressions can appear in the same conversation. "I think" introduces an opinion, "I feel" expresses an emotion, and "I feel like" introduces a personal perception or observation.
Exactly. Once you understand the purpose of each phrase, choosing the right one becomes much easier. You're no longer translating word for word. You're selecting the expression that best matches what you want to communicate.
And that's how native speakers use them. They don't think about grammar rules. They simply choose the phrase that matches whether they're sharing a thought, a feeling, or a personal impression.
We've covered a lot of examples today, so let's finish with a simple rule that you can remember forever. Whenever you're unsure whether to use I think, I feel, or I feel like, ask yourself one question. What am I trying to express? The answer will usually guide you to the correct phrase.
I love simple rules like that because they're easy to apply in real conversations. Instead of memorizing dozens of grammar explanations, you can quickly identify what kind of message you're trying to communicate.
Exactly. Here's the framework. If you're expressing an opinion, belief, prediction, or assumption, use I think. For example, I think this restaurant is excellent. I think we'll finish on time, or I think she's right. These are all thoughts formed in your mind.
So whenever the information comes from my brain, I think is usually the right choice. I'm evaluating something, making a judgment, or sharing an idea rather than describing an emotion.
That's right. Now, if you're describing an emotion, mood, or physical sensation, use I feel. For example, I feel happy, I feel nervous, I feel tired, or I feel sick. These are experiences happening in your heart or body.
And that's where the memory trick really helps. Think equals brain. Feel equals heart or body. It's simple, but it's surprisingly effective.
Finally, if you're sharing a personal impression or want to soften a statement, use I feel like. For example, I feel like we're making progress. I feel like something is missing. Or I feel like we should discuss this further. You're expressing a perception rather than presenting something as a fact.
What I like about I feel like is that it makes communication sound more diplomatic. It allows you to share observations without sounding overly direct or judgmental, which is especially useful in professional settings.
Exactly. So here's the rule one last time. Opinion or prediction, use I think. Emotion or sensation, use I feel. Softened observation or personal impression, use I feel like.
If you can remember those three categories, you'll avoid most of the mistakes learners commonly make and sound much more natural in everyday English conversations.
As we come to the end of today's episode, let's review the key lesson. Although I think and I feel seem similar, they serve different purposes in English. I think is for thoughts, opinions, beliefs, and predictions. I feel is for emotions and physical sensations. And I feel like often helps us express personal impressions in a softer, more natural way.
I think that's what makes this topic so useful. The difference is actually simple once you understand it, but mastering these expressions can make your English sound much more natural. Small language choices often have a big impact on how clearly we communicate.
Exactly. Today we learned that I think comes from the brain, while I feel comes from the heart or body. We also explored how I feel like can help us share observations and concerns without sounding too direct or judgmental. That's a valuable skill in both personal and professional conversations.
And I really like that I feel like gives people room to respond. Instead of presenting something as an unquestionable fact, you're sharing your perspective. That often leads to better conversations and fewer misunderstandings.
So here's your challenge for this week. Create 3 sentences using I think, 3 sentences using I feel, and 3 sentences using I feel like. Try using examples from your own life, because personal examples are often easier to remember.
That's a great exercise. You could write them down, say them out loud, or even use them in a conversation with a friend or coworker. The more you practice, the more automatic these expressions will become.
Before we go, we'd love to hear from you. Which expression do you use most often? I think, I feel, or I feel like? And which one has been the most difficult for you to understand?
Thank you so much for joining us today. Keep practicing your English, keep noticing how native speakers communicate, and remember that small improvements can make a big difference.
Take care, everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.